Hey everyone, so picture this. You're having one of those days where you're absolutely hungry. Your blood sugar is somewhere in the basement, and you just need something now. What do you reach for? If you're like millions of people worldwide, it's probably a Snickers bar, right? But here's the thing. While we're all mindlessly unwrapping that familiar brown wrapper, do we actually know what makes Snickers the most successful candy bar on the planet? Like, we're talking over $380 million in global sales annually, making it literally the best-selling candy bar in the world. That's insane! Today, we're diving deep into everything Snickers, from what's actually inside that magical bar, to why your brain goes, yes, please, every time you see one. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a Snickers the same way again. So first things first, what exactly are we eating when we bite into a Snickers? Because honestly, it's like a little architectural masterpiece of flavors and textures. The classic Snickers has 4 main components, and each one is strategically placed for maximum satisfaction. You've got your nougat base. That's the chewy, sweet foundation that gives you that initial hit of energy. Then there's the caramel layer, which adds that sticky, indulgent sweetness that makes your taste buds do a little happy dance. But here's where it gets interesting. Those peanuts aren't just thrown in randomly. They're specifically chosen for size and crunched to create this perfect textural contrast. One bite gives you chewy, gooey, crunchy, and smooth all at once. It's basically a symphony in your mouth. And that milk chocolate coating? It's not just there to look pretty. That outer layer actually helps balance all the sweetness inside. With a slightly bitter cocoa note, it's food science at its finest, honestly. Now here's a fun fact that'll blow your mind. Snickers was introduced by Mars in 1930 and named after the Mars family's favorite horse. I know, right? We're all out here eating a candy bar named after a horse called Snickers. But the really crazy part is how this whole thing started. The Mars family was actually trying to create something completely different. They wanted to make a candy bar that would be filling enough to replace a meal. Which, let's be honest, we've all done at some point, haven't we? The timing was perfect too. This was during the Great Depression, so people needed affordable food that would actually satisfy their hunger. Snickers hit that sweet spot. Pun totally intended of being both a treat and substantial enough to give you real energy. What's fascinating is how they've barely changed the original recipe in almost 100 years. That's confidence in your product right there. Okay, let's talk about why Snickers hits different than other candy bars. And I mean this literally, there's actual science behind why our brains go absolutely feral for this particular combination. Among consumers aged 18 to 34, Snickers was the most popular brand, favored by 10.6%, and there's a reason for that. When you're in that age group, you're dealing with busy lifestyles, maybe irregular meal schedules, and your body is constantly craving quick energy. The combination of simple carbs from the nougat and caramel gives you that immediate energy spike, while the peanuts provide protein and healthy fats that help sustain you longer. It's like your body's way of saying, yes, this will actually help me function like a human being again. But here's what's really wild. The marketing slogan, "You're not you when you're hungry," isn't just clever advertising. There's actual research showing that low blood sugar genuinely affects our personality and decision-making. So when Snickers positions itself as the solution to hungry moments, they're tapping into a very real physiological experience we all have. Now let's talk about how different cultures have embraced Snickers, because it's actually fascinating how universal this appeal is. In the US, 48 million Americans consumed Snickers in 2020, and around 93% of internet respondents are aware of Snickers. That's practically everyone. But what's interesting is how consumption patterns differ globally. In some countries, Snickers is seen as more of an afternoon pick-me-up, almost like coffee culture. In others, it's become this post-workout treat because of the protein content from the peanuts. Snickers' messaging strategy was tailored to resonate with their target demographic, young male adults aged 13 to 35. But the reality is way more diverse than that. I see everyone from busy moms to college students to office workers reaching for that familiar brown wrapper when they need a quick energy boost. The genius of Snickers is that they've managed to make hunger something literally everyone experiences their brand territory. That's marketing gold right there. Can we just take a moment to talk about how people actually eat Snickers? Because I've noticed there are basically 3 types of people in this world. First, you have the bite straight through people. They just go for it, all layers at once. experiencing that perfect flavor explosion. These are usually the people who eat Snickers when they're genuinely hungry and just need fuel. Then there are the layer peelers. And don't even pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. These people carefully eat the chocolate coating first, then the caramel, then pick out the peanuts, and finally eat the nougat. It's like a whole meditation practice. And finally, there are the freezer people who keep their Snickers in the freezer because they love that extra crunch factor. Game changer, by the way, if you've never tried it. What's funny is that each eating style actually changes the flavor experience completely. The way your saliva interacts with the different textures and temperatures affects how the flavors release. So really, there's no wrong way to eat a Snickers, just different experiences. So what's next for our beloved Snickers? Well, Mars isn't just sitting back and counting their money. They're constantly innovating. We've seen Snickers ice cream bars, Snickers spreads, even Snickers-flavored coffee. But what's really interesting is how they're adapting to changing consumer preferences. Without losing that core identity, there are now dark chocolate versions for people who want something a bit more sophisticated. And they've been experimenting with different nut combinations in various markets. Some countries have Snickers with almonds, others with hazelnuts. It's like a global taste test happening in real time. The brand is also getting smart about portion control with those bite-sized versions. Because let's face it, sometimes you just want a little hit of that Snickers satisfaction without committing to a whole bar. But here's what I find most exciting. They're starting to tap into the nostalgia market. There's something so comforting about that familiar taste that brings you right back to childhood. And Mars is definitely leveraging that emotional connection. Here's the thing that really gets me about Snickers. It's become this cultural touchstone. It's referenced in movies. It's part of Halloween tradition. It's what you grab at the checkout line when you're having a rough day. The annual global sales of Snickers is over $380 million, and it is widely considered the best-selling candy bar in the world. But those numbers don't tell the whole story. This isn't just about candy consumption, it's about shared experiences. Think about it, almost everyone has a Snickers story. Maybe it was your go-to during exam week in college, or what your mom packed in your lunchbox, or that time you were road tripping and survived entirely on gas station Snickers and coffee. The brand has managed to position itself not just as a snack, but as a solution to one of life's most universal problems, being hungry. And honestly, in our increasingly busy, stressful world, that's pretty powerful positioning. So there you have it, friends. The fascinating world of Snickers. From a horse's name to global domination, from food science to cultural phenomenon. This little candy bar really has done it all. Next time you unwrap one of those familiar brown packages, take a moment to appreciate the almost century of food science, marketing genius, and pure deliciousness you're about to experience. And maybe try the freezer trick seriously. Thank me later. What's your Snickers story? Are you a bite-through person or a layer-by-layer peeler? Drop a comment and let me know. I love hearing about everyone's candy bar rituals. And hey, if you enjoyed diving deep into the sweet science of Snickers with me, smash that like button and subscribe because we're just getting started. Next week, we're talking about what actually happens to your body when you eat a Snickers bar, and trust me, it's going to be eye-opening. Until then, stay sweet, stay curious, and remember, you are you when you're hungry, but you're definitely a happier version of you with a Snickers in hand.